Nice to see you again. Thank you very much for being here.
Good to be back.
You, when you started, or not when you started, but at a certain time in your acting career, you worked right here in this facility, didn't you?
Worked here, worked on the 8th floor. We did craft theater on the 8th floor,
Yeah.
8H.
What sort of shows?
Montgomery Theater. Robert Montgomery presents.
Those are all dramatic offerings, live
Heavy-duty
television?
dramatic offerings.
Yeah.
No comedy.
Yeah. And do you have a collection of stories about live television in the old days when it really was live and all that sort of
when
thing?
you really made mistakes. I remember doing a show one time with Albert Decker. It was called My Eyes Have a Wet Nose. It was about a seeing eye dog.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's right. My eyes
have a wet nose.
Yeah.
It's the cold and flu season, and...
So we went out to Morristown, and I played the instructor, and we shot out there and came back and did the thing on the stage. It was, I think, on CBS. And I come in to present his dog to him, which is a very moving moment, you know, with a person who's blind, you bring the dog in. So I came in and presented the dog to him, and now I really have to get out to give them a chance to get to know each other. And, it was a very sensitive moment. And I went to open the door, and I couldn't open the door and get out. I was stuck on the set. So I said, well, it looks like this door is stuck here. And Albert says, yeah, it was stuck this morning like that. We're speaking a little loud to get them to, you know, come around and give it a shove. And tried and pulled. He says, well, I think you should use the other door. And so I made my exit through the closet. And we got letters about that.
Yeah. Did you, now, these things were all, what, 60 minutes, 30 minutes?
That was 30 minutes, but a lot of them were hour shows.
Yeah.
That was a half-hour show.
Did you ever have any trouble getting them off on time?
I worked one time I met Bob Stevens, who directed the Suspenses in the early days, and I bumped into him today on the street, as a matter of fact. It was strange to bump into him. But we did one show where I was doing some fencing and so on, and we were 2 minutes over, so they cut the show, and you never knew who won the duel. Bingo.
That's it.
That's how he was. Yeah, he worked a very creative, talented man who did not have a watch.
Yeah. Let me ask you also, is it true that your father is, or one time was,
He's a Mountie.
A Mountie.
He was a Mountie, and I spent my childhood up in the Northwest Territories of Canada, about 100 miles south of the Arctic Circle. I'm a North Country boy.
Now, what exactly is a Mountie? I mean, we know Sergeant...
Mountie?
Yeah, Sergeant Preston and those guys, but is that what they do? What do they do?
Well, they don't do Sergeant Preston.
No.
They don't wear the red coat very often, but they're up there. They're maintaining law and order.
These are federal Canadian troops?
Yeah. Well, no. What happened with the Mounties is that you have areas where they can't have a town constable. They can't afford it. Or they can't police an area. So they would hire or lease the services of the RCMP. That's how they came into being. And they would go up and maintain the law. But they were really chief cooks and bottle washers. They were father confessors. My father said broken legs and did it very well. And you sort of like were a jack of all trades.
Now, where were you born up there?
I was born in Regina, Saskatchewan, but we went up there before I was 1 year old into the North Country.
Did you ever travel?
That's how I got my bow legs.
Really?
Me got bow legs.
How do
you speak Indian?
No, I'm confused here.
Mm.
No, how do you get bow legs from?
You get bow legs from not having fresh food.
From not having fresh
food.
So
we had no fresh food up there. You know, you had to
let
wait.
Let me see your bow legs.
That's a little personal.
Oh, no, stand up.
I mean. Well, you know.
Because
come on the show to be humiliated.
No, put your feet together and let's see what we're talking about.
I really hate to do this.
Well,
I have what is known as a four-finger bow.
Well, I got.
Oh, you got bows. Hey!
What the hell? And
where did you get yours?
It's fresh fruit was the problem?
Yeah. You can get fresh fruit.
No kidding.
You got your supplies up there. They came up by boat.
I was born and reared in Indianapolis. We should have had fresh fruit there, don't you think?
Should have had it, yeah. You didn't have fresh fruit in your days?
No, not. We had to wait for the Mounties. They didn't come around till like the 60s.
But they were all up north.
Yeah. Boy, that's and you
snowshoeing.
You call those bowed?
Those are bow legs.
Boy, no,
I'm proud of my bow legs.
Are you? But don't you see you'd be much taller if they were?
That's true.
So would I.
But it was great for basketball and jump shots.
Really? I didn't. Oh. I mentioned it in the introduction, Police Squad. That show was only on, 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
We did 6 shows. It was on 4 weeks, and I didn't play the other 2 until about a month later, and then they replayed them the same way.
But you got an incredible amount of heat from that, didn't you?
It was one of the most successful failures that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Really, people who remember that show are the people who love it. They identify. The visibility was very high. See it. Hey! The visibility was really high on it, and people who don't like it or didn't watch it, it's just, It's one or the other with them. There's no in between them.
Now, you had not done a great deal of comedy before Airplane, had you? Or
Well, just a little bit. Yeah.
And like what? What would have been a comedy role?
I did a mash.
You did a mash?
I did one mash, and it was funny.
Uh-huh.
And it was about from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And but it just really depends on who sees it.
Now, but the Airplane movie has given you a whole new direction for work, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now people permit me to be funny in front of the camera.
Speaking of television roles, aren't you getting enough fresh fruit?
It really has been ever since I got my legs got bowed. I have been concentrating on eating.
Now you did this the last time. Now let's talk about your new television program.
Oh yeah,
for this network right here.
It goes on April 4th. It's called Prime Time, and it's an hour kind of variety comedy show, and it's an affectionate look at television.
Now who else is on the program? The vehicle, as we call
Lorraine
them.
Newman is on it, and Louis Arquette. All those names just slipped my mind.
No, Louis Arquette is Cliff Arquette's son, isn't
yeah,
he?
right.
Yeah,
all funny guys.
Yeah.
I just don't have all the names at my fingertips.
Okay, but it's an hour long. We got a portion of the videotape right here.
Oh yeah, you do have.
Yeah.
One. You have
all right,
tape.
let's take a look at it. It's called Prime Time, and it will be on this network when? You said April?
April 4th at 9 o'clock.
A good policy, just start watching this network now and don't quit
All
till
the time.
Labor Day, and you'll see it.
Now I'd like to acknowledge some special people here in attendance. First, a big welcome to the YCC, the Young Communist Cowboy. Now to the voting. Our first vote. Should New Hampshire be blown up?
New Hampshire, the first in the nation primary, cast 9 votes yes, 10 votes no.
New Hampshire, I was expecting a few more no votes from you. Now to close the convention, everyone whose underwear is too tight, will you let go of your balloon? It's that kind of, we take film clips or clips from old shows. For example, they have a clip from around 66, and it's called Then and Now, and you see the clip, and then Martin Milner does a sketch on the show, and it's a 20-year difference.
How many of these did you make?
One.
Just the one. So
It's a special right now.
special,
If
yeah.
we make a second one, it was a pilot.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I hope it looks like it's very, very funny. I hope it.
I
goes
think
well
it
for
is funny. I think it's
Yeah.
amusing, and it should be.
Now, maybe we better show the people. I don't even like to touch this thing, but
What's that?
Well, you know what it is. Just put it out there, and we'll take a look at it.
Well, you always just whip me to death when I come on this show.
No.
You do.
But I just see that some people may not have. There it is. That's the.
It's just a prop. We use it in an airplane, and I have so much fun with it, so I just carry it around with me.
Yeah. Okay. That's Leslie Nielsen, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Time beyond early in April. Leslie, thank you very much for being here. We'll be right back to take a look at Dave's record collection.